Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Chandler, and I'm an instructor at the Virginia School of Traditional Arts here in Halifax County. Just a little quick tip today. We're going to show you how to make this little jig here that cuts our plywood, or helps us cut our plywood straight, and show you how to use it. So stay tuned. As jigs go, this is dead simple. This is just two pieces of wood. Happens to be some 1/4 inch birch plywood, but it could be anything. It could be this scrap pieces of this. It could be any plywood you like. You need a good straight edge on it, so we want to use the factory edge at least on this part here, on the side we're tracking with our saw. And when you build this, you want to build this wide enough so that the very first time you use it, you're not cutting on your panel. You're going to cut this edge just by itself. You're just going to set your saw on here and run it down, and you're going to cut this edge. So that gives you your edge, and that's the set distance between your saw edge of its foot here, of its base, and its blade. And you no need to try to measure that, just got to have a little bit more. And you want it wide enough on this side so that you can use your clamps and it doesn't bump your saw motor. So we want that, we want those two things. That's the only things you got to worry about. Get it a little bit wider so when you first use it, you can cut off that extra, and that'll be perfectly parallel to this. Use a good straight edge for this, and enough over here, and this could have been wider if you needed it to be. So that you can clamp this down without the motor bumping it and getting in the way. And I have a piece here. I'll measure it for you. We've got about 9.5 inches, and it's a little longer than 4 feet. That's nice, so that you can get a start and get off of it. We're at 60 inches long. And so the width of this isn't necessarily important, other than it just needs to be enough that it's not wiggly, you know, when you're cutting with it. And then all I did was glue it down and put a few nails in it to hold it till the glue dried. And I've labeled it blue saw because I have a red saw that's footprint is a little different, so we use a different one for that. I'm going to show y'all how to cut perfectly straight edges on your plywood. You can use this for angles or square marks. First thing you're going to have to do is build your little jig. We'll talk to you about that. The next thing is you want to support your piece of plywood. This don't mean having your little brother hold this in from flopping. It means you're going to have to put something under it. So you can see here that we have a couple of scrap pieces underneath this plywood in this direction because we're cross-cutting. If we were going to rip it, we'd have them in the other direction, or we could use our sawhorses either way. You're going to set your depth on your saw so it just barely goes through the thickness of your jig and your piece of material, whatever it is, plywood, thickness, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1/4 inch, whatever it may be. You're going to set your saw's thickness, depth for that thickness, plus the thickness of your jig. Alright. Let me show you how to set your jig up. We want it a little bit sticking this way, if at all possible, so that we can start our saw without it being on the material. We're going to put it right against our mark. This is the piece we want, so we can go right to the edge of our mark. I'm using a big fat marker so we can see it. We're going to put on our clamp. We're going to move to the other side. We're going to slide our board over right to the edge of our mark. Put on our clamp. And then, since I've moved this slide a little bit, I'm going to check that side before I begin. We're still good on this side. So we'll show you a cut again. Cord out the way. And we want to make sure that we're supported. So I think this board here is not over here very much. So we're going to make sure it slides out that way. There we go. Now we're supported. like about this process is I don't have to look at a line. I don't have to try to follow a line. And when I get out of reach, I can just go on the other side. Get back under control here. I feel like I'm much more in control. And we want to cut all the way off and then let the saw stop before we take it out. And that is our piece fixed here. So that's our piece, right on our mark. Good to go. We got one more cut to make. But hope this helps you cutting in your plywood. And good luck, and be careful. Wear your safety glasses. And mind your cord. As you can see, my cord, we've cut it in half at least one time. So mind your cord when you're cutting. That really helps. If you've liked the video today, please like and subscribe. Put a comment down. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.